Hello guys, welcome to Telepathy. For this episode, we are talking about class, and we wanted to bring the classiest person that we know as a guest on this podcast, and that is Nicole Raffi. Nicole, thank you so much for finally being on the podcast.
Wait, what is this cold opening? Nicole Raffi?
April Fools.
Oh, I forgot. It's April Fools, guys. Happy April Fools. For a second, I was really confused. I was like, is this like an early birthday surprise of Nicole Raffi? I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh. Did you actually think that?
I really did. I thought Nicole Raffi was about to come out behind door number 1. I wish. Nicole Raffi, if you're listening, please save us. Anyways, yes, this episode, we're talking about the concept, the philosophy, the theory that the question that can money buy class?
Yes. Obviously, we have neither money nor class, so I wouldn't quite say that we're
very credible.
In this topic, but
and the moolah.
So we'll just see where this goes. But first, as usual,
coffee.
We have to start with our icebreakers. It's my turn to do the camp question, I believe. We're just gonna go with that.
I hope so, because I don't have one.
Wait,
Oops.
You know what we should have figured out by now?
Yeah.
If you do the odd or the even camp questions, and if I do the odd or the even camp questions.
Ooh, that sounds like a problem for another time. What is your camp question?
Well, no, because that would be such an easier way to know whose turn it is.
Oh yeah, it's episode 86. I feel like I always announce the episode number, and I haven't done that yet today.
Oh yeah.
So episode 86, we are here, and we are queer.
Yeah, everyone was just in the dark about what episode number it was. Sorry, guys, for that 2 minutes of just total...
Speed.
Yeah. Okay, the camp question today is name, age, and what's your favorite flower? I don't think we've done this one before.
Okay, I don't think we have either. We could be... Oh.
Because it's hashtag April showers bring May flowers, so...
Truth, and it's April 1st, so... May flowers incoming. Okay, hello, I'm Enzo. I'm 17, and why do I not know that many flower kinds? Flower types. I feel like I should know because I'm an earth sign. I'm a Taurus. I'm just gonna go with roses. That's like really basic, but like there's something batty about a rose.
It's so like President Snowcore.
Right, like what do you call a rose by any other name? Really think about it, guys. I'm just kidding. Something is wrong with me today. Okay,
yeah,
your
same.
turn.
Mine is baby's breath, and I actually have it's show and tell today.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, this
if you're
is
watching
a video episode, guys. If you want to watch.
That was just my little insert to tell you guys that it's a video episode.
Wait, I said the same thing, and you like didn't acknowledge me. So that was like telepathy, kind of.
No, I heard you. I was just adding on to it.
Oh, okay. I thought you.
But I was gonna say that before you said that, so I guess it is telepathy.
Okay. Truth,
anyways,
truth. Well, we should talk about the telepathy that happened right before we started recording. We're like,
yes.
It was just silent on the FaceTime, and all of a sudden, we like look at each other, and we were just like, whistle while you work. I can't whistle.
Wait, I just got one really good whistle in. Like, y'all heard that. Just the very tail end of that sequence. But yeah, we just like randomly burst out into whistle while you work at the exact same second. So that was
whistle
pretty
while you
of
work.
us.
I've never been able to whistle. I've also yet to see Snow White. I don't think I will. I don't think I care about Snow White that much.
I want to see it and Amelia Perez just to form an opinion
just
on
so
it.
I can hate on it.
Yeah, because like it's hard like seeing all these things and being like, I don't know what to think yet. Like
I've never turned my back on Rachel Zegler, though. I will say that. Like, she was amazing in the Hunger Games. And, like, the thing is, no shade to Snow White, like, Snow White the princess, but, like, I just don't care that much about her. Like, maybe because I'm, like, a later generation of Disney, kind of, so Snow White really doesn't mean that much to me, but I'm kind of like, okay, y'all do whatever y'all want to do with that movie, because I might not be there. But Rachel Zegler, honestly love her, so, yeah.
I know. I do love her. Speaking of
whistling
media, speaking of whistling, What's your song shout out for this week?
Okay, I have 2 shout outs for today. Both are really random. The first one, I don't know if this is just some sort of like canon event question mark. We did an episode on that. But every year around this time, like in the spring, like the March to May period, there's some sort of pop EDM kind of type of song that like weirdly becomes an anthem. Last year it was Memories by David Guetta and Kid Cudi. This year it's One More Time by Daft Punk. Literally for like 5 minutes straight, it's just a little beat on top of the one more time. For 5
that
minutes.
Song. Okay.
Yeah, for 5 minutes. That's like literally the only lyric that repeats. And maybe it's just because I've been really overstimulated and stuff recently. So there's something so nice about just getting in the car after a long day of school and just putting on a repetitive EDM song that has 2 lyrics in it. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I feel like when a song is so repetitive, you kind of just zone out. Like it's happened to me before where a repetitive song comes on that's mostly instrumental and I'm like, wait, I'm going to skip this in a second. And then I just fully zone out for like 5 minutes and then I'm like, come back to reality.
Yes.
I don't know if you relate to that.
No, I absolutely do. My second song shout out, which is quick, but it's Sunglasses at Night by Corey Hart. I feel like this is a bit of a classic.
Ooh,
but it was playing in like a beach playlist or something that I had on, even though I was not at the beach. But it came on and I was kind of like, ooh, into the March playlist she goes, even though we're in April now. So might have to migrate her to the April playlist as well.
Oh, yes. Not tomorrow. Tuesday, the day this podcast comes out, is new playlist day.
Yes.
Music shout out. I'm going to put you guys on to a new British band.
Another one from the UK.
Not Irish this time, like St. Patrick's Day's gone and past. But there's this band called Welly. I don't know if I've shouted out one of their songs before, but they just came out with their debut album. And they only have 15K monthly listeners if you want to, get on the train early. But I'm going to shout out the song It's Not Like This in France. And
they not like this.
They're very funny. They're kind of like Blur. They're kind of like Blur, but now, like 2025 Blur. So their music's very silly and goofy.
You were saying like you don't know if you've shouted them out before. How would you figure out like if you had shouted them out before? Like is there a place to go for that?
Oh, so there is a playlist that we put all of our music shoutouts on. It's called the Telepathy playlist. And to get to it, you can go to our Instagram at the Telepathy Pod. There's a little highlight with the playlist link, and it will take you directly to our Spotify playlist where you can listen to all of our music shoutouts from the past 2 years because our birthday, Telepathy's birthday, is on Friday when this comes out.
She's turning 2.
She's turning 2. The terrible 2s. I think I just put negative aura out into the world, but I think it should be fine. Telepathy's mature.
Yes.
You paused for so long that I thought you were frozen.
I thought you were still going. You're like, telepathy's matured. And then you just posed. And I was like, wait. That was
I was waiting for you to say something and then you just
That was the punchline.
Okay. Movie, TV shout-outs for this week? Anything?
I have none. I'm sorry.
I watched a movie last night. I watched this movie called Sabrina, and it's an Audrey Hepburn movie, and I really liked it. Usually the Audrey Hepburn movies, there's always something kind of off about it, and I love her, but I don't know. I think it's just the 1950s movies. There's always, I don't know, the love interest is always really ugly. I just can't get behind it,
She's a fashion icon with class.
Yeah, I think we could talk about her more. But yes, the movie Sabrina was really good. The love interests were still ugly. But I think the story was really good. So we can get behind it. Is that a transition?
It is. I was like, this is your turn. Also, my family's talking really loudly downstairs. So if I seemed a little bit distracted, it's because I was focusing on 2 different conversations at the same time. Guys, eavesdropping is a full-time job.
Oh my gosh. Yesterday I went to the beach and there were these people sitting behind us that were just they had the most southern accents you could ever imagine. And they were spilling all this tea about their local community. And I heard just all these crazy stories yesterday.
Oh, so much tea at the beach. Let's talk about it.
Tea at the beach.
Just kidding. Let's actually talk about can money buy class, and also just how this statement, this phenomenon, this theory, this concept has evolved over the years.
As we usually talk about.
I think we should, of course, start with our definitions because telepathy always begins with that. So what is class? Because I feel like we all view it in a different way. But what makes somebody classy? And I know you had your layered definition.
Yeah, so I asked ChatGPT what class is, but we can get into that later because it gave me 5 categories of factors that can go into class. And so I feel like that would be an interesting like launch pad. What's the word? Interesting talking points to like go off of.
Yeah, a launch pad. A launch pad makes sense.
But I feel like class is just like holding yourself very like properly and like knowing the right thing to say, like having media training or whatever people say nowadays.
Media training.
And just like dressing very classy, you know, which might be more modest maybe, but could be disputed.
I think that a classy girl should be the next like clean girl. Do you know what I mean? It should be the next.
Yeah, I kind of think it is.
I can already see it on Pinterest. Like a classy girl speaks her mind but is respectful, or like just like little things like that. That's kind of just like my phone is always going off during the episodes. I think that this is kind of my first talking point if we want to get into this, but the idea of quiet luxury and how this has evolved recently, because I think that I can think back to maybe like 2016, 2017, where having a luxury brand on your t-shirt was the thing. You know, like people wanted the Gucci slides or like the Gucci t-shirt, the Gucci belt, but they wanted the flashy kind of it, you know, where you could see the logo, you could see the colors and you would see it and immediately identify it as a Gucci belt or something. Whereas I feel like now people are definitely into like the understated, like really nice, very expensive sunglasses, but maybe they're just all black and they're chic and you actually don't even realize that they're $700. Or maybe there's a tiny little Louis Vuitton gem stud, and just how people want sort of their wealth to be like understated, but it's like not because they're like humble or something, but because that's just the trend, you know?
Yeah, and I feel like that can definitely like get us into the point of like, can money buy class? Because technically, if you don't have a lot of money, you could just buy a dupe of that because there's not a logo necessarily showing. You can get a dupe that can still make you look classy, even though it was like $5, you know?
Right. So like what gives it class then? Is it the value of it, or is it just how it's viewed by society? You know, like it holds that sort of like just the fact
I just feel like it's like the way that you hold yourself with this thing. Like I don't know how to explain it.
Let's say Rihanna. I think it is like Rihanna technically, but she's a billionaire. If you see her wearing sunglasses, you are unable to identify the brand based on like logos and stuff. You still know that they're very expensive based on her status, because she is a billionaire and she, you know, is known for like good fashion and she's very present in the beauty industry. So it's like you kind of just assume that something is very expensive, but there's no other way to put it or sugarcoat it. But
right. I actually feel like Rihanna's a really good example of like a classy person in like a different sense, because like I don't know how you explain it. I don't know how to explain it, but like she's very, I think it's because she like doesn't seek like public attention so much. She's very like humble. I feel like maybe being like very humble is like classy because you're like more focused on like your personal relationships than like fame, you know? And she's definitely more focused right now on her career and like personal relationships than like fame. So I feel like she's a very classy person.
This is just an example, and I feel like this is more in terms of how the public perceives this person, because I don't really follow this person or keep up with them at all, but Hailey Bieber, I feel like people are always, like she definitely has a lot of money, and, you know, she's known for, like she has the Air One smoothie or whatever, isn't that like ridiculously expensive? She has like a skincare brand, like she's definitely wealthy and has a lot of sources of income and stuff like that. But I think that a lot of people don't necessarily view her as classy because of, I mean, there's the whole like jealous of Selena Gomez kind of rumors, or like just that whole narrative that a lot of people paint, which I'm not here to say if that's like true or not, but I think jealousy in the public eye is not viewed as classy because people want somebody who's like is very secure in themselves. And like I feel like confidence is also classy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like confidence in like a non-braggy way, because I feel like that makes sense, because people who always are like involved in scandals or drama like aren't seen as classy. Which I feel like this is like a good time to get into the Kardashians. Like I feel like they go in between times where they're classy and not classy. Like I don't know how to explain it.
If they're like the classiest yet unclassiest people ever.
Yeah, like some of them are more classy than others, I would say. Like I feel like it just depends on how they're portrayed in the media at that point in time. And like did you have something about Kim Kardashian?
Yes. So well, I was going to talk about how a lot of people think that her fashion sense and like just her sense of style changed after getting a divorce with Kanye West, because a lot of people were saying that then she was wearing this stuff and it was still like very expensive, but it didn't feel like as personalized to her or whatever. She felt like she had lost that sort of image. And I think she even talked about this in the show. But, and this is not me trying to call like Kanye West like a fashionista or anything. Let's not put that out there. But I think it does just go to show that, you know, you can have all the money in the world and buy all the clothes that you want, but fashion is still like an extension of somebody's identity, you know? So it's like, if that's not reflected in what you wear, I feel like a lot of people can see that and see when you're just trying to wear something just because of the name or because of like the flashiness of it or how much attention it's going to draw, you know?
It's funny because now I'm like thinking really deeply into the word class, and it literally means like your social class and like what it, you know, like something that's high class is, now like saying the word class just sounds like it's not even a real word, but like something that's high class means literally that you are high social class, income level, and like can afford that. Like for example, like on an airplane, first class, because first class you can afford that because you're high class. But like I really do feel like money can't buy class, because I think it's just about how you use your money. Like you can be a very classy person. Like I have friends that I can like think of right now in my head that are very classy people, and they're not necessarily billionaires. Like they're just like the same as me, like a college student. It's just like their style is very classy. I don't know. I kind of want to get into like this ChatGPT list that it gave me, which we kind of already have talked about this, but so our good friend Chat,
Bestie.
yes, broke classiness into 5 different factors. So I'm going to just like overview them real quick. There's presentation and style, manners and etiquette, intelligence and conversation, confidence and humility, and then lifestyle and values. And Chat broke each one into 3 different segments. So the first one is presentation and style, which we talked about. But there's fashion sense. Oh, this is interesting. Like tailored outfits. That makes sense, because
it's
tailored
like for
does
you.
feel very classy. Yeah, and that is like a showcase of money, because getting things tailored costs so much. Also, timeless over trendy. Like I think that when I think of classy fashion, I do think of like the 60s or the 50s of like the Audrey Hepburn style, you know?
Wait,
like,
I kind of feel like that's why luxury items with like big flashy logos and stuff aren't necessarily seen as classy, is because it's like anybody could buy that, even though it is expensive. If it's like you may have $2,000 to buy a Gucci t-shirt with the big flashy logo on it, but somebody else also has that $2,000 and can buy that same exact shirt. But if you get a plain designer t-shirt and then you style it with this unique piece of designer jewelry and this other designer earrings and designer sunglasses, but it's all different, it's like still more tailored to you, like it's saying, but
yeah,
it's still very expensive.
I totally agree.
Which feels superficial talking about it, but I feel like it's interesting to look at like how this has evolved over time. Because like I'm sure like how they viewed class in the 50s was like so much different.
Yeah, and I definitely think that the classier like vintage Hollywood style is coming back a bit. Like I feel like I could wear a full on like Audrey Hepburn outfit to class and like nobody would bat an eye, you know? Maybe not the hat, but like, you know what I mean? Like that type of dress, like an A-frame type dress. I feel like I could wear that and like that's kind of the style now. There's also what we haven't really talked about is like posture and body language. I think that like definitely people with good posture, actually the friends that I have in mind that feel very classy to me also have good posture. Which
and
I'm like,
don't
okay, maybe I need to
underestimate
like
the power of body language.
I definitely need to. My posture's gotten better over the past few years, but still working on that. Sitting up straight now.
We should rate ourselves
on classiness.
Yeah, like in each of these categories, like where do you see yourself?
Ooh, okay. Wait, that's fun. That's fun. Okay. Ooh.
Wait, what is the first one? Presentation
and style.
Presentation and style. Ooh.
We're rating ourselves, not each other, right?
Well, if you want to rate me, you can, but I was gonna give myself
I don't really know
like
how to do that.
a solid 5 out of 10.
I'm gonna give myself a 7.5 out of 10 because
Okay.
I think I've definitely like gotten better over the years. But posture still needs to be worked on. Body language, I tend to bite my fingernails a lot, so there's a few things that could use a little bit of work.
Okay, yeah. I think that for me, like I guess my style would not be seen as very cohesive or just my overall presentation because, for example, like I'll wear a very large, big t-shirt, something that somebody might classify as like a sleep shirt or something. Like I'll wear that as the outfit with like a necklace, like that's my thing, whatever. But I'll do that with like a full face of makeup and like a big lash or something like that. Or just like my outfit will be giving like way too much, but then like I won't like do my hair or anything crazy like that. Or vice versa, where I'll look like I literally just got out of bed, but then have like a full face of makeup on and like fully straighten my hair and all that. So it's like pick a side, but that's just like how I come to school a lot. But yeah, that's why I'm giving myself a 5 out of 10 because I don't know, like, I think I have like a color palette that I wear, you know, I like to definitely like black, purple, red, green kind of, you know, maybe blue, but I don't think I have like enough of a defined style for it to be like, oh, I'm classy.
Now this is just giving me a lot to think about now. Like, I kind of want to like just screenshot this ChatGPT thing and come back to it whenever I need. Hold on, I'm plugging in my phone real quick. So the next sector is manners and etiquette. We have politeness, saying please, thank you, treating everyone with respect, grace under pressure, staying calm and composed, even in stressful situations. And then we have social awareness, knowing how to behave in different situations without being loud, rude, or attention-seeking. So I think this is maybe where some of the celebrities lose their class. Although there's different ways to go about it because I think of like at first I was going to say like any celebrity who's gotten into kind of a scandal has like lost their class, but at the same time, like I feel like Chappell Roan is a good example with how she was like calling out paparazzi and stuff, but I feel like she was still doing it kind of like, I don't know. I don't think she like lost her class doing that.
Like I feel like she's still doing it in a classy way because she has like she knows what she wants to say and she has a message and she's stuck to it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it wasn't the type of thing where it was just like one red carpet. She was like, I'm going to say something to the paparazzi. It was kind of like, you know what?
It's not like she lost her temper.
Exactly. It was like this is, yeah. And I'm glad people don't see it like that because like, how is that losing your temper if you're like suddenly made really uncomfortable? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I think that like she has a message and she knows how she feels and like what her stance is on that. And she's stuck to that. And I think that I really respect that. And I think that's why I think she is very classy.
Okay, so like staying calm under pressure, that's definitely like a very classy thing to me. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. I just had something in my head, but I forgot. I feel like there's kind of that movie persona of a like high up CEO in those like early 2000s types of movies where this girl become like Devil Wears Prada type vibe. Mm-hmm. I feel like the protagonist always like stays calm under pressure or whatever, and then like it makes them look very classy.
Okay, but like with the Devil Wears Prada, like I feel like Miranda is viewed as like the highest of class within that movie, but I feel like she doesn't follow any of these rules except for maybe presentation and style, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's true. Like not her, but then whoever I've fallen asleep both times I watched this movie. Yeah,
or Emily Blunt. Or yeah, because Emily Blunt is like the one who kind of is a little bit more like frantic, you know?
So yeah, I feel like that section kind of speaks for itself. Like, obviously you look more classy when you have like good manners and etiquette. Do you have a rating for yourself on this one?
Honestly, I'm going to give myself an 8 out of 10. Like that is something that if anything, like when I go out to a restaurant or something, or I never want to like disregard somebody who is like doing something for me, you know, like if I'm being like served by like a waitress or something, like I always want to be like appreciative, even if it gets awkward throughout the meal with like coming to fill my water up like multiple times and just being like, thank you so much every single time. Like I do, like that is something that's important to me. I feel like I was just like raised that way. You know what I mean? So that's something that like I do pride myself in.
I think I would agree with that rating for myself as well. Also, this popped into my mind that like, I feel like people in the South are always viewed as like having really good manners, you know, like always saying please and thank you and all that, which is kind of contradicting to like the money buys class thing, because I feel like a lot of the Southern people who I can just picture, I feel like the most like please and thank you type people are sometimes the most like, you know, blue collar type jobs who like don't have as much money,
it's because like
yeah, and it's because they were yeah, and it's because they were raised on like you just have to be grateful for what you have, even if you like don't have a lot of money. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's kind of funny because as we're going through this list, I'm kind of like, wait, none of this really ties back to money. Yeah. Yet, when you think of class, I feel like it's just ingrained in our brains to think of like somebody of a wealthier, like a higher social class, you know?
Right. Exactly. Okay, so the next one is intelligence and conversation. We have if they're well-spoken, cultural awareness, and listening skills. And I feel like in this section, we can start to get into what you wanted to talk about with like the Ivy League people.
Oh, yes. So, yeah. What we wanted to talk a little bit about within the money can't buy class conversation is Ivy League schools. And, you know, obviously they're super exclusive and super low acceptance rates. So it's like the best of the best go there. But just because you're paying a super ridiculously high tuition, does that make you better than everybody? Because I don't think so, but I think that a lot of people will have this sort of superiority complex just because they attended an Ivy League, when in reality, it's like there's more opportunities for you. For example, because a lot of these universities, due to their brand and just like their status and their legacy, they have all of these connections, and people who go there like typically thrive after. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The message gets twisted a little bit when I think people start to look down on others who are getting the same bachelor's degree, just not paying $100,000+ a year. That being said, NYU let me off the wait list.
I was thinking while you were talking about this, like SCAD is by no means an Ivy League school, but it's a very expensive school. And there are a lot of people, especially in like the fashion major area, of like people with just like rich dads who they're just kind of like Nepo babies, and they pull up to the Hive with their like white like Teslas and stuff, or like whatever the expensive car is now. And there were a lot of people freshman year that you could tell were like at SCAD because they just like had the money to spend on it, and then they were like, wait, I don't want to do this. So I think it comes down to like in college, it doesn't even matter about where you go. It's literally just about like what you do with it, what you do with what you have.
Wait, it's like the Noah Centineo thing, you know? It's like it's not. Yeah. It's not what you do, but what you've done with what you have.
What you have done with what. Wait. It's not what you have, but what you do with what you've done for other people.
Okay, I saw that clip the other day and I was like, why did that make sense? Mm-hmm. And I was kind of like, wait, guys, when is my frontal lobe developing? Like, how many more years? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's not what you do. It's not what you have, but what you do with what you have to other people.
Right. Okay. But I feel like fashion and class, like the relationship with money and class and fashion, I feel like is reflected in everywhere else. Like if you have the same designer outfit or same designer brand and like two people just wear it differently because one just has that like knack for fashion, you know what I mean? But it's like they have the same price tag, which I think is the same in this situation where it's like you're paying the same tuition, yet somebody's just viewing it as, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I have the money for this, so F it, let's just do it. Versus somebody who's like, you know, maybe I'm actually going to go into a lot of debt for this, but I feel passionate about this program and I believe in myself, so I'm going to do it and try to get something amazing out of it and find an amazing opportunity. It's like you're paying the same tuition still, the same price tag, but you're just getting a different outcome. So I think it's just like having class really is that like social awareness.
Yeah. Okay.
That ChatGPT was talking about.
I really want to talk about this because when we were just talking about fashion, it like jogged my mind.
Yes.
What is her name? What's the model? The new iconic model.
Oh, Alex Consani.
Yes.
I love her.
I love her. I've been like obsessed with her the past few days. Like,
oh, her. But did you watch the
chicken shop date?
Yes. I was gonna say Hot
yeah,
Ones.
I watched that earlier. Yeah, like I wasn't feeling that good earlier, so I was just laying in bed like watching YouTube compilations, and I watched like first I watched that, and then I watched her like just like funny. I just searched like Alex. What is it? Costani?
Is it Cosani? I think there's an N in it. That's why I was like, I said like Consani, but I think it's Cosani.
Okay.
Alex Cosani. I don't know. I love her though.
Yeah, but. Yeah, I was watching a lot of her compilations earlier, but I feel like she's like model of the year or whatever, but she's so like, I'm not going to say not classy because she like is, but she also just like is so random or like.
Yeah, like the kind of like no filter as some might describe it or something like that.
Yeah, like no filter.
But like, yeah, no, she still definitely is like, classy.
Yeah, somehow she's like the perfect juxtaposition because in all the compilations she's just saying all the weirdest stuff. Like she's so weird, but she's so like classy still.
Because I think that she checks off the presentation and the confidence box and okay, wait, what are the other ones? We can keep going through them and then because I think that there are some people like I feel like you have to have like a minimum of 3 checked off on this list to be considered classy.
Wait, that's so real.
Because some of these celebrities like they don't have a few of these boxes, but they check some other ones. So it's like that's where they get their class from.
So we had presentation and style, which she has.
Yes.
Manners and etiquette. I would say like yes, but also she was there are videos of her just like in public, like you know, being really loud or just like walking really close to people and stuff. So I feel like that's like not really, but in other ways she is.
But like I feel like with the chicken shop date, like she's making jokes and stuff like that and being really funny and like whatever, like no filter, unhinged, whatever they want to call it. But it's like she still knows. She knows where to draw the line. And, like that's why she's classy because she's just like she knows her limits and she just I don't know.
And then there's intelligence and conversation, which like I guess she like has a bit of that too.
The math thing, did you see where she's like, I love math?
Yes.
So that's
confidence. Yeah. Confidence and humility, and then lifestyle and values. Okay, so maybe she has all these things.
Maybe, she checks all the boxes.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was an interesting. I thought about her because I was like, she's so classy, but in like the exact like opposite. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but you know, you guys know what I mean.
No, I get it.
Okay, confidence and humility. I feel like this is kind of what I was talking about earlier with like humility, like not like bragging about your wealth. So maybe that's why that kind of non-logo aesthetic is more like humble, I guess, because you're not just like, I have a Gucci shirt, guys.
Or have you ever seen the celebrities with people in their comments like, oh, I forget that they're super rich? Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes like I'll forget like Lana Del Rey that she casually has like millions of dollars.
Yes, that's so true.
Because I
I
mean,
feel like
yeah.
no, keep going.
Well, I was just going to say, I feel like she doesn't flaunt her wealth necessarily, at least to the extent that a lot of people do on social media. And I think that, I mean, we can kind of get into that, I think, after of how social media like flex culture and sort of the idea that celebrities on boats and stuff like that. Or if, okay, let's talk about celebrities buying boats because, okay, you see me right now. I have zero passion. Like there is zero passion in me for boats. So if I was randomly a billionaire, why would I suddenly buy a boat? Like, I'm like, I feel like all the people, well, I don't really know anybody who has a boat, but I guess just like families who have a boat is usually because they're more like into boating and just like that lifestyle and that culture or whatever. Whereas I feel like there's a certain extent where like you get to the yacht status and that's when it's like, we are just buying things just to buy things. Cause like, you're not that passionate about it.
Yeah, it's almost like you get to the point where you have so much money where you're like, okay, I've bought everything else, so I guess I should just buy a boat now.
Same with cars, because I mean, I can go ahead and say this, like, I don't really care about cars. When people are talking about different stats and styles of cars, I'm kind of like, okay, that's why
I don't want an expensive car because I know that I'm gonna crash it at some point. So why would I spend money? Like, I'd rather spend money on like a nice house.
If I was like a gazillionaire or something, like sure, maybe I'd buy like an electric car or something like that because stay green or something. I'm just kidding. But like, I wouldn't be out here buying some like crazy sports car with an engine that's super loud because it's like, I don't like that right now. So it's like, why should $1 million change that?
Yeah, that's where it's like the money comes in, but I wouldn't say that. I mean, I guess it's classy to have like a nice car and like a nice boat, but like, I feel like there's other ways. Like, you can be less classy than Alex Consani with a boat.
Exactly.
Than Alex Consani without a boat.
Literally. Okay, because also, I think that sometimes a lot of people will think that, you know, partying or like just being on a yacht or something and just like the Instagram pictures that seem very much unbothered or like you're with a small group of friends on a very expensive yacht and it's like, ooh, that's classy, like rich people, I don't know, like living life in private and in luxury or something, you know? So that's why it's like sometimes classy. Whereas if you're on a big party boat with a bunch of people and everyone's like really loud, then suddenly it's like no longer classy. And it's like, why does our society view it that way? I don't know.
And I think this goes into the next segment, which is lifestyle and values.
Okay.
We kind of got into this, but quality over quantity, choosing meaningful experiences and well-made things over excess, knowing what to share and what to keep private, and then being generous, you like using your money, maybe not to buy a boat if you have no use for a boat, but like maybe donating that leftover money.
Donations, clock it.
But also, I feel like people have done charity in a very overly
not classy,
trying to draw attention to themselves way, which is not classy. So it's like there's so many like juxtapositions. I think the truth is that you can have all of the things in ChatGPT's classy sections without having any money.
I think also my epiphany is that class is just like something that you know it when you see it. Like, I feel like we could go through a whole list of celebrities and say like classy, not classy.
I want to shout out my new favorite YouTube Shorts person that I sent to you last week.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
But her name is, this is such a good example. I mean, I'm sure she has a lot of money now because she's like an influencer. But what is her name? It's Annie. hold on. No, it's a Catch Joy Winnie.
Okay.
Literally everyone go follow her. She's amazing. But she's like this influencer that lives in like a traditional African village in Uganda.
Mm-hmm.
And like she just shows like how they live off the land and like how it's so like community based and like it's just so cool. And obviously like before she was an influencer, like they don't really like her community, that's like all they need. They don't need to like make money because they just like are self-sufficient. But she's like such a classy person. Like I love her. Like she does like fashion videos of like, you know, what you can wear in the village and stuff. And then like it's like the way she holds herself, she has really good posture. So I think that's one of the things. Like the way she holds herself, she is also a model though. Like she goes into the city and she does modeling. So I'm sure she like actually does have like a lot of money. But you would never know because she doesn't like flaunt it. She's like still very humble, but like put together.
Right. Okay, yeah, I feel like we can get into like class at the lower local level, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Just in our everyday lives and stuff, as opposed to just like in the media. But I think that there's even people at my high school, I'm like, do you have good style or are you just able to afford the new spring collection at Urban Outfitters every season? Or not every season, but just like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's definitely people who I'm like, wow, you have good style, but also like, I see you in new clothes every day. And I think that's when it goes into like outfit repeating and just like that culture of like, that shouldn't be viewed as like not classy. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like outfit repeating can be classy.
Totally. Like, I mean, I think the most classy way to outfit repeat is when you have like a capsule wardrobe, or not even just a capsule wardrobe, but just like those staple pieces that I'm picturing. Like if you have that like black dress and then you have those like I'm thinking of my like black flats that I wear a lot now.
You are the like, reference. Yes.
But like, or just like a really nice sweater that you bought 4 years ago and you spent like a good amount of money. Like say it's from Madewell. You spent like $150 on it, but that's because you knew you would keep it for like 6 years.
Right.
So like, it's also like that girl math thing where like once you divide up how many times you wear it, you know, like say if you buy something at a really nice like minimalist shop that's like super expensive because it's like handmade or something, but you know you're gonna wear it like every week. That's so much. You're gonna save so much more money than buying the new Urban Outfitters sweater every month.
Exactly. So. Because like I know somebody who, you know, I think that this person does have like amazing style and everything, but I also have seen like the price of their shopping carts and I've just been kind of like, wow. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Am I a hater? I'm not a hater, but I'm just saying.
We have an episode about that.
We did an episode called Am I a Hater? Check it out.
I love how we have enough episodes now. I think we've referenced our episodes like multiple times in this episode.
What was the other one I did?
Core moments. What's the word?
Canon
events. Canon events.
Yes.
Like we have a podcast about everything now. Like if you think of something and you're like, I wonder what Telepathy has to say about that, like it probably exists.
It probably exists. I think a good way to tie this all together is there's a song called Class from Chicago, sung by Mama Morton and Velma Kelly. And I really think that these lyrics just tie it all together. Okay. Whatever happened to fair dealing and pure ethics and nice manners? Why is it everyone now is a pain in the ass? Whatever happened to class?
And there you have it, folks.
Like they literally, fair dealing, pure ethics, nice manners.
Yeah,
that's
like,
what you need to have.
Did ChatGPT steal from that song?
No, literally.
Like maybe that was the reference. Like that was the blueprint.
Okay, but then whatever happened to please may I? And yes, thank you. And how charming. Now every son of a bitch is a snake in the grass. Whatever happened to class? Amen. I want to, you know what? Maybe I need that. Like, maybe I need to get up in the morning and read that every day. And
Yeah,
then I can go on and
print it
people will be
out.
like, what's your millionaire morning routine? I'm like, well, I just get up and I read Class from Chicago every morning and then I drink my coffee.
I love that.
Actually, I drink my tea because coffee's not good for your voice. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And tea is a bit more classy to me.
True. Because, like, not the coffee that you buy at Starbucks, the fresh brewed tea. I'm just kidding. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Is that a sign that we should stop?
Probably. I think that was really good. Like, I think that I have such a better understanding of what class is and how to apply it to my life. And I truly do believe that, like, if you just check all these boxes that ChatGPT is saying, none of these things involve money. So you can, like, DIY class.
Yes, Class Core coming soon. We are the founders, the starters of it.
Yes.
Normalized podcast episodes that really end without a conclusion. It's kind of just like, okay, this is what
like,
class
that's
is and how to have it. Thank you. Yeah.
My AirPods keep running out of batteries, so, like, you know that it's time to end the episode when my AirPods just, like, keep going in and out of my ears.
Exactly. But of course, since we are classy, we are going to have to stay confident and humble, though. So we really appreciate you guys listening to today's episode. And if you want to, give us a follow at the Telepathy Pod on Instagram, or subscribe to our YouTube channel, or follow us on Spotify, and leave us a review if you are so kind. That's just us being confident and humble because we are classy.
Yes. Thank you so much for listening. By the way, this whole episode was just an April Fool's joke. We don't believe anything that we said in this episode. I'm just kidding.
We are the least classy people ever. That's all.
April Fools, guys. I hope you have a really great rest of your April Fool's Day. I think it's just such a great holiday. Like, I need to start thinking about what I'm gonna do. I just got, like, the chills. Like, I love April Fool's Day, guys. But anyways, stay classy. And we'll see you next Tuesday with another episode.
Bye. Hashtag your favorite class act, telepathy. Mwah. See you next Telepathy Tuesday. Bye.